So, you've been diagnosed with HS. My name's Dominick Juliano, and I'm a Beautiful Trainwreck. I want you to know that I've been diagnosed with HS too. It's something I deal with every day, and today I'd like to share some things that I've learned, some things that have made it a little bit easier to deal with HS, and towards the end of the video, I'll even share something with you that I promise, if you put it into proper practice, it has the potential to change your entire life. Let's get right into it. Okay, you've been diagnosed with HS. I told you towards the end of the video, I'm going to share something with you that will change your life. I'll get started with it right now and we'll get more into it as the video goes forward. What I want you to do is I want you to sit real quiet for 30 seconds. Take a deep breath. Breathe it in for a few seconds. Breathe it out for a few seconds. Now you can pause this and do that for 30 seconds, or you can just, continue watching. So we've been diagnosed with HS. Yeah, it's a bummer. But here's the deal. It may be a bummer that we've been diagnosed with what is considered an incurable skin disorder. However, the positive way to look at it is we've been diagnosed with something. We know what's going on and we could put a name to it. We know exactly what it is that we're dealing with. Although there is a lot of speculation about a variety of things regarding HS, the effects that we feel with HS really is no argument. You're in a lot of pain every day. You're very comfortable. And we have drainage. I deal with it every day. The important thing is the way that we approach it. The important thing is that we have a positive mindset whenever we can be. I realize we're not always going to be able to have that at every moment of every day. But the reality of it is the way that we deal with this skin disorder is really going to, it's going to be reliant on how we approach it. The way that we deal with this skin disorder is really going to be dictated by our frame, the way that we move forward. One of the most effective ways that I deal with anxiety is to do just what I described to you. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a few seconds, and let it out. If you can do that for 30 seconds at a time, it has a tendency to calm you down. It has a tendency to calm us down. And then we can approach whatever it is that's going on with a much clearer head. Today I am having a hell of a flare, and it's warm, and I don't want to wear my freaking hoodie, but I'm draining all over the place and a little embarrassed. So those of you going through the same thing, I know exactly what you're going through. I know how you feel. So I don't know my car key. When we've been diagnosed with HS, it is going to be very important that we concentrate on the here and now. What I mean by that is, yes, there are going to be times that we're very uncomfortable. There's going to be times where we want to scream. There's going to be times where, we wonder, what we did wrong in this world to feel this way and have this happening to us. I want you to know that's perfectly normal, all right? However, what is important when we feel that way is how we react. It's probably the most important thing in most situations in our lives. We have to understand that we are dealing with something that most other people are not, okay? It is near impossible to explain to another person who doesn't have HS exactly what we go through on a daily basis. So, the best thing to do is to keep that in mind. Understand that someone who doesn't have HS, well, they're just not going to understand what it feels like to have HS. So really, it is pointless to ever let how we're feeling affect another person. Sitting here trying to write, and my armpit hurts so bad right now. I just want to freaking punch somebody. Concentrating on the here and now I guess that could be best summed up in looking at whatever it is that's right in front of us and trying to determine the best and most positive way to deal with it. You know, it could be as simple as the pain that we're feeling. It could be as simple as maybe we're having a good day, maybe we're having a bad day. The point is, concentrating on the here and now is seeing exactly what is right in front of us and realizing, okay, if I have some pain going on, I can't change that. I have HS. It's something that I'm just going to have to deal with, okay? And getting lost into the what ifs, that is only going to make us miserable. Staying focused on the here and now is, hey, I've got this thing going on. Like, okay, I'm taking my kid to school, or you know, I've got a date tonight, or I'm studying for something. Concentrating on the here and now is not allowing the pain that we're feeling every day from HS to consume us, I guess.
If we are able to concentrate as well as we can on the here and now, we have that much more of ourselves available. And that is like paramount in dealing with something like HS, because honestly, the more that we get lost inside our head, the more that we just disappear into the agony, the more we're going to suffer. A lot of this has to do with perspective, and I know that some might think that's easy for me to say, and you know what, it is at this point in my life, because that's the attitude that I have bent over backwards to try and develop, because I used to have a very different attitude, and the results of the things that were going on in my life were not so much the things that were going on in my life. They weren't so much a direct result of things occurring. They were more the result of the way that I reacted to things occurring.
One of the things that I have found most beneficial when I was diagnosed with hidradenitis was finding other people that are like me. When we find other like-minded individuals or other people that are experiencing the same thing as us, we have the opportunity to share notes. We have the opportunity to express ourselves honestly to people that understand how it is that we're feeling. When we have a group, I call it an in-group, when we have an in-group, it gives us that feeling of acceptance because there are other people that are going through the same thing that we're going through. And when you know that you have been heard and acknowledged, that gives us the tendency to have a more positive outlook on life in general.
One of the worst things about being diagnosed with hidradenitis is that you kind of feel alone, you know. I didn't know anybody that had this skin disorder. So it was important for me to try to find a group of people that did know what it was and try to get some information from them. And not so much just getting information from them, but sharing my own, because this is something not a lot of people know about.
Let's take a deep breath in for a few seconds and let it out for a few seconds. In for a few seconds. Out for a few seconds. Do you feel yourself getting calm?
Wherever we go, people see us. In whatever state that we're in, that's how people are going to take us. We could be having the worst thing going on in the world. We could be having a bad day like I'm kind of having today. I'm having a flare-up today. But the way that I present myself to others, that's the way that they're going to take me. And that's the vibe that we are going to share when people encounter me. I think it's important for us to strive to enjoy ourselves and have fun everywhere we go, whether we're in pain or not.
Being able to laugh at little stuff, being able to laugh at ourselves, being able to laugh at just random stuff. Well, that's having fun. That's the type of stuff that we did when we were kids. And this shouldn't be any different. When we were kids, there were all kinds of things that, you know, we wanted to do, you know, to keep our minds off of things, and well, we had fun. If you're new to this channel, hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can be notified of the latest content as it's released. I think one of the most difficult things that I dealt with was just accepting that I can't fix this on my own. I think when reality set in, that there's no bunch of pills I can take. I can't just change deodorants and move on with my life. I think once I accepted that, okay, this is it. This is reality. I have HS and I got to make some lifestyle changes. When I did that, things were a lot better, honestly. When you start moving forward with acceptance rather than avoidance, we have the opportunity to find out our own information about things. We're going to make our decisions about the things around us no matter what. But those decisions, those opinions that we make on things, they're developed with the information that we have available. So it is in our best interest to get out there, visit as many websites as you can, Facebook groups, even in-person conferences. For those of us who have HS, I cannot recommend enough for us to have a pet. Having a pet gives us something else to focus on. Someone else, who will give us attention. An opportunity to spend our time with another being that's not going to, judge us as much as another human being. A lot of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. When we get on our purpose, we have a tendency to have the most positive mental outlook that we can develop, because we don't have time, to complain. We don't have time to worry about what someone else is doing. We don't have time to look at the bad. We don't have time to focus on the good. We only have time to focus on what it is that's taking us forward. So I cannot hammer enough that we find whatever it is that we are here on this earth to do. It's important that we teach other people. It's important that we create something artistic. It's important that we learn to do something that we weren't able to do before, because it expands our horizons and it teaches us who we are. Remember, this is a marathon, not a foot race. It's going to take time for us to make the adjustments that we need to make in our lives to make ourselves more comfortable. It's going to take time for us to learn what it is that we can do better in our lives. For me, wearing looser clothing definitely helps with my flares. Some of the things, I have a cannabis-infused coconut oil that I use, that I smear on some of the inflammation areas when I'm super inflamed, and that helps. Learning how to take care of your body, learning some of the things that your body reacts to.
Pain is something that is going to be around no matter what, whether we have HS or not. It's not so much the level of pain that we feel. I think it's so much the level of pain we're able to tolerate.
Okay, I told you towards the end of this video, I was going to share with you something that has the possibility of changing your life if you properly implement it. The truth is, I've been telling you about it this whole video. A lot of it has to do with presence and the way that a lot of it has to do with the way that we present ourselves in our everyday lives. Utilizing techniques such as deep breathing, it gives us the opportunity to have a better presence. It gives us the opportunity to think about the things that are going on around us, to slow down. When we breathe deeply in for a few seconds and then release it for a few seconds and then repeat that for a little bit, it gives us the opportunity to increase our focus. It gives us the opportunity to not panic as much. It gives us the opportunity to look at the big picture around us. And that's very important in our presence. If you have hidradenitis, you're not alone. I have it too. I want you to understand that this is not going to be a foot race. This is going to resemble a marathon dealing with this. The only way out is through.
Let go of everything.